680's Richard Southern joins us. And Richard, it could change the way we watch Netflix. What? The company's going to start letting users pick the endings to shows.
Yeah, how about this? They're reportedly, Netflix, Roger, testing new technology that would give viewers key control of plot lines at critical points in a show. So by the touch of a button, you could, for example, decide what Frank Underwood does next in House of Cards. They're going to shoot, apparently, different endings to shows so viewers can pick their own route through a story using their remote control. And the most complex versions could sort of turn back on themselves. So really, viewers could have all sorts of options as far as picking what happens next in the show. And that could keep people watching for longer. That's really what the aim is here as far as Netflix is concerned. As well, Roger, Netflix confirming today they're in talks with Gilmore Girls about bringing back more shows from that popular series. Netflix stock was up 2%.
Interesting. It's like what they do with video games, right? You pick the route you're going to go.
Yeah, but can you imagine the fights over the remote? There would be even more fights over the remote if you had to pick what happens next.
But you could have water cooler conversations because everybody would have their own ending.
Yeah, that's true. No more spoilers. How about that?
No spoiler alerts. All right. Not great news if you're heading south for the March break. Canadian dollar near an 8-week low, and it looks like it could go even further.
Yeah, it's been a steady slide for the Canadian dollar the past couple of weeks, and as you saw off the top, it was down again today, Roger. It's about 74.5 cents U.S. The big factor pressuring it is the expectation that U.S. interest rates will be going up. The market actually pricing in a 90% chance of a U.S. rate hike next week, whereas the Bank of Canada is unlikely to move rates anytime soon. We've also seen oil prices come off their highs. That's pressuring the loonie. I talked to some currency experts today over at Scotiabank, and they're telling me, Roger, to expect maybe 72 or 73 cents for the Canadian dollar by mid-year. So certainly that trip down to Florida, if you're making it over the next couple of weeks, might be a bit more pricey than it was the past couple of years.
A little better for manufacturers here, though, right?
Absolutely. It's always a good news, bad news story when it comes to the Canadian dollar.
Yeah, well, if you're not traveling, it's great. Okay, could be a real breakthrough when it comes to oil spills. New material has been developed that promises to make cleanup easier. That's cool.
Could be a game changer because, a lot of the world's oil still transported by water, and we do unfortunately see a lot of spills. So this new material can absorb up to 90 times its own weight in spilled oil. It can then be squeezed out. So the potential here is for oil to be reused once it's sort of sopped up from the water. Yeah, currently they don't do that, Roger. The technology they use now, they actually just sop it up and then they burn the material that they use to absorb it. This new technology developed by researchers in Illinois, and again, they're hoping this could be a game changer for those oil spills, which we do unfortunately still see on our waterways.
Oh, right, and just saving oil in cities in that too. Recovering oil from restaurants and stuff like that could make it interesting.
Yep.
All right, bottled water sales surging, and some brands are charging top dollar. I don't understand this.
Oh boy, can you imagine paying $100 for a bottle of water? People are, Roger. I want to show you the brand that's charging $100. Yes, indeed. It's a Norwegian-based startup selling water that costs $100 a bottle. It's called Svalbard, and it is from icebergs in the remote fjords of Norway. A boat actually goes out, picks up the icebergs, they bring it back, melt it down. It's supposed to be super pure water, and they're selling this stuff, believe it or not. Bottled water sales, they have doubled in the last 15 years. It's a hotter segment now than pop. People aren't drinking the sugary stuff anymore. Seltzer sales growing 42% over the past 5 years. Maybe not so great for the environment. So when you talk about all the plastic bottles, but yeah, I don't mind the tap water.
There's
Cheaper,
a whole backstory on all this, isn't there? Especially in this city with the water we have coming out of our taps. It's one of the best in the world.
It's good. It's good.
Yep. Okay, Coke out with one of its first gay-friendly commercials. That's very cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting a lot of traction online, and the soft drink giant releasing this spot. It's called Pool Boy. In the commercial, a young woman is seen oogling the pool cleaner through the window of her home. The young woman's brother, meanwhile, is admiring the same pool boy. So they decide, Roger, they want to bring him an ice-cold Coke. So they rush through the house, trying to see who can get out to give the pop to the pool cleaner first. A lot of pushing and shoving between the sister and her brother. So they finally make it outside, Roger, and what do they find? They find that their mother has beaten them to the punch. She's there with the Coke for the pool boy ahead of time. So the ad features no dialogue, makes it easier for Coke to use this in different markets around the world. A lot of companies are trying to be more inclusive with their advertising, but the pressure is on Coke because, Roger's sales are sliding quickly. Kind of a neat spot there.
That is pretty risque, isn't it? for
It is
Coca-Cola.
for Coca-Cola, which is kind of this family-friendly brand. But again, it's good that they're doing this and companies are trying to be more inclusive.
As they say, families come in all shapes and sizes.
Absolutely. Yep.
All right, Richard, thank you very much, sir.
Thanks, Roger.